Hello everyone, I'm Sebastian from FreightTech, and today we have a special guest who's also Sebastian Cazajus from CargoFive. Hi Sebastian.
Hi, Seb. Thanks for having me. And yeah, great name, by the way. Yeah.
It is, I really enjoyed it. I must just admit to that. Sebastian, great to have you on board. You know, the whole format of this videos is to talk with the people like you from the industry who build some nice tools for the freight forwarders, for the BCOs. You know, it's going to be a wide bunch of different tools. But I would like to start from you, telling your story. You know, what's beyond the CargoFive and what inspired you to actually build this venture.
Sure. So yeah, basically, I started my career working in the industry. I studied in Argentina. I'm from Buenos Aires, and I was involved in a project that has the goal to optimize the procurement process. So I was in charge of finding the best way to move containers from point A to point B. And yeah, when I enter into this process and started dealing with different freight forwarders, the process was super manual. I was waiting for 2 days to receive just a quotation and the schedules, right? And there
Yeah,
were a lot of emails involved. One sent me an all-in rate, the other one's details. So it was like super manual. And then I started talking with the freight forwarders. And when then I say I always like technology, and I started to make a research like, okay, why you don't give me your schedule or your pricing API so I can connect to you, and then I have real time data, right? And when I say that, it was like, what are you talking? What is an API? So I thought like, where is the bookings.com? What are the APIs in this industry? But I left that. I was like early 20s, and I always had this passion to build software, to build online products. So I had a software factory and a digital marketing agency, always helping customers to automate things with software and to sell online in a faster and more digital way. And then, yeah, basically a few years later, thanks to a colleague, I got in touch again with the industry. He started to talk a lot about the problems that he has. He was working on a shipper, and yeah, basically, CargoFi was born with this experience that I had at that moment, and with this passion for building tech and solving problems with software, right? So yeah, that was the starting point, and we are here to simplify global trade at the end, to make life easier for the freight forwarders and also for shippers at the end, right? To have more
great
easy.
motivation.
Yeah, and to at least to I always like to say that, and we know like 90% of everything that we consume has been in a container at some point of the supply chain. So we are impacting on all these goods, right, that are going in the supply chain process around the world, right?
Yeah, so it's been already like 5+ years, right? So it's not a CargoFive only, it's like already more than 5 years as well on the market.
Yeah, well, CargoFive started. We started the brand in 2018, and we
18,
closed
so
it.
six.
Yeah, we started. We launched the market mid late 2019.
All
With the
right, so I was pretty precise. But what is the name coming from?
So it's a good question. Actually, we wanted to have cargo for sure as the name.
Yeah.
And then the number five, it was really hard to find .coms. I don't know how people are doing now because it's impossible. And basically, at that moment, we realized that the number five represents to the five party in the logistics. That is the technology, right? So you have the three-party logistics, four-party logistics, and the fifth part is the technology that enables the different players to optimize their process, right?
Wow, I think it's been many years after that I actually heard the first time the fifth party logistics.
Yeah.
And you know, in majority of the cases that I see some, let's say, some people publishing about the fifth party logistics, it doesn't give that precise picture what actually that is until today.
It is.
But yeah, it was smart. I would agree with you within the whole logic on that. So it's been more than 5 years today. So what problem does your product solve at the moment? What is that?
So let's talk maybe more about what's the current situation for a freight forwarder that doesn't
Yeah.
work with CargoFi, right? So you receive a request to quote, let's say, a shipment from Buenos Aires to Gdansk or to Gdynia, right?
Yeah.
And you have to go through several Excel files, several emails, several websites, and you need to combine all that information. Not even the names of the locations or the ports are standardized, right? So you need to make a search in all these files with multiple currencies, multiple surcharges, and we are used to the speed, to the transparency of digital sales. We are used to book flights online, to buy products online, to have ChatGPT in real time answering questions, right? So
Cool.
it's a different process, right? And of course we expect the same on that specific procurement task. So yeah, basically we are helping freight forwarders to automate. That's the core, to automate the pricing and procurement. So basically, instead of then spending those hours and this error-prone and manual process of finding rates across multiple data sources, we integrate all that information in real time. We have a strong model that maps data from these Excel files, PDFs, emails, and APIs, websites, several sources. And then we have a simple user-friendly format where they can just search, quote, and then send the data to other system via API, right? So it's very, very simple, and we streamline this entire process for them.
All right, sounds very interesting. I think, we've picked the video format of this conversation just to also give some kind of a space to actually show the product. So maybe you could just, walk us through your demo, showing key features that you think are the most interesting to your users.
Sure. So let me know if you can see again.
Yes.
So as I mentioned, the platform that we have is very user friendly. It's very simple. At the end, what freight forwarders are looking for is to type here an origin or a destination. I can search here.
So now it is like an internal tool, right? A freight forwarder has it as their own tool. They just log in, and if they get the inquiry from their customers, they can use it to check it. That's how it's
Exactly.
work. All
We
right.
we are working also in white labeling solutions, but the core and most of our customers are using internally. So they receive an inquiry, as you mentioned, for a quotation, as we were saying. We can type here multiple ports or locations, and then the system will start gathering data. It works for FCL or LCL. By default, we have, of course, the most quoted equipment for dry equipments, right? And if I click search, the system will start gathering data in real time from multiple sources, as I mentioned. Okay, so basically we will have FAK rates, name accounts, spot rates, everything mapped in real time, and then the customers can check ETDs, ETAs, right? Transit time. They can check all the all-in rates, and they can check all the details, right, that they have for freight, origin, destination, right? Schedules, the moorings and detentions, right? So they have the full picture about what are all the options. Then they can order by transit time, but first departure, by price, right? They can filter specific alternatives. And then from here, they can set different automations, right? So basically, they can set profit rules. I want to apply 10% on the freight for tier one customers, for tier two, a different profit level. And then with simple setups, they can send quotations in real time to their customers, right? So the core is procurement, but once we have all this data gathered from Excel files, PDF, everything that they can forward to us in an automated way, then we streamline the quotation process so they can save 90% of their procurement time and then be 5 times more effective when it comes to the quote management process, right? So they are way more productive and they can say way more quotations to X amount of customers, right? So yeah, that's
All right. So
briefly.
in terms of the origin of the data, it is like a couple of ways. So you can get a spot and this kind of a, let's say, market level of the craze directly from the Maersk and Evergreen that we've just seen. And besides that, they can just upload their own rates into your system. All right.
Yeah, it's important to mention that we don't negotiate rates.
Yeah.
Freight forwarders, we just connect their data. So what we've seen at Merck's, we connect to the ID of the freight forwarder account, and we integrate the private information in a secure way to our system, right? Then the sources are different. I can say that nowadays still maybe more than 60-70% of the data is still on Excel files and PDFs. But we are moving forward. The market have seen good changes after pandemic. Shipping lines launching a lot of solutions, more visibility, more APIs. So they are willing to share more data in a private and integrated way. So yeah, I think the industry is moving forward in a really good way.
So let's just imagine this user journey. They receive like a quotation in a PDF from some of the carriers. And what they should do with this PDF?
They just forward the same file that they receive in any of the formats, and then that's the core and main value proposition that we have. We build automations for millions of templates, right? So they don't need to translate anything. Our algorithm is understanding the different surcharges, the different port names, the different formats and
surcharges this year is a challenge. You know, there are so many new surcharges coming in. I mean, the names.
Yeah, not only just new surcharges, but also like when it comes to terminal handling, for example, that is a simple charge. Most of the quotations, right? You have maybe 50, 60 different names just for one surcharge, and that data needs to be standardized. Otherwise, they cannot compare on their ERP what they have to pay, right? Or what's the difference between their costs and their invoicing, right? So that's the core and the main value that we have. We already process millions of rates. We have huge data sets. So this enable us, to map in an automated way all this information that's still coming in, thousands or millions of different formats, right?
Yeah. Well, but what about like non-main ports? Do you have any place for managing like a usual thing from the past, like TADs, and just to really focus on the main ports, and then everything else might be just extrapolated based on that, or do you really need like port-to-port rate basis to then use it for the future?
No, we combine. We use like different legs, right? And we combine different service. So for example, you can forward to us data from your pre-carriage that are in other files, or even from other inland providers, right? So basically we help you compare the alternatives of doing, for example, from location to the port of destination with the carrier or with your own logistics service provider, right? That is doing just that leg specifically, right? So you can forward us any data that you have for different legs. There is a lot of data also very unstructured for arbitraries.
I can imagine.
Yeah, because you have rate overs, you have vias, right? So this is also very complex data to manage. You need to make calculations at the Excel, right? With the arbitraries plus the main port, right? So that data you don't need to translate. You just send us arbitraries, inland.
And some are applicable to certain contracts, some are not applicable to spots, and etc. etc. There's sky is the limit, I think, in the complexity level.
Yeah, you have to be like super, like put 100 eyes on the Excel file to map every value and to not send a wrong quotation that can make you lose a lot of money with the shippers, right? So that's the core, right?
What about the rates validity? Do you help to manage also that there's some deadline coming to actually extend the rates, or how's it handled?
Yeah. So basically, we have different formats. There are rates that have no validity, and that's also we show alerts on the platform. we let the customer know that, for example, these spots, like now we have products that are dynamic pricing, right? That is like the flights. You search now, if you
Yeah.
book now, that's the price. But
Yeah.
if you search in 2 hours, maybe that rate is not available anymore, right? So we show that data to the customer, and then for the contracts that they upload that are going to expire, we send them notifications and we help them to manage so they can have full visibility about all the options, right? We make them we make this easier for them so they don't have to adjust anything manual, and they have full products available in one screen, right?
Makes sense. Yeah, you showed us this view. Do you also provide some kind of a improvements in terms of the preparing the offers to the customers, or should it sit in their own, let's say, sales tools or TMSs that they do use?
Good question. So it depends. We have everything that I show you is via web, right now.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end we have several endpoints and APIs that we make easier for the customer to integrate with their ERP. We have integrations with several major ERPs, and
Mm-hmm.
basically we give the choice to the customer if they want to procure in our system and then build the quotations on their own ERP or TMS. We integrate just the buying rates, and then they can prepare the quotations on the system. And then the ones that wants to use our quote management system, that this is most of the cases, because it's our focus, is where we are better. Then we integrate the final quotation with their ERP, right? So they say, okay, this quotation is going to be a shipment, and they send the data with buying
Mm-hmm.
rates, selling rates, conditions, customer, consignee, right? All the information, so they don't have to input manually and translate the data to other systems. That this is one of
Yeah.
the, let's say, I believe, major bottlenecks in this industry, right? Like, because at the end there is no one system that will do everything. The industry is huge, right? So
Yes.
so data integration is core, and we focus a lot on that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think there are a lot of challenges in terms of actually managing the profitability of the business. So, keeping track on both ends and making like as a proper accruals on the file level. So you know exactly as a freight forwarder, where you make money, where you don't make money, what the cost you are expecting. It's like I think it's been one of the biggest challenges of the industry in terms of the containerized shipping. The time that it takes to actually before you open the file, you close the file, you invoice, and you get a payment. So it is quite easy to get lost on the way, that you think you are on the positive side, while there are some costs coming like 3 months after, and basically the freight forwarder then realizes that it's not that bright as he thought. And in some cases, that's the time where the strange things starts happening, right? It's like when people are, let's say, stressed too much. But Sebastian, in terms of the benefits, if you would just just to really emphasize, what's the benefit of using the CargoFive for the freight forwarder? What would you like to the freight forwarders that are watching us to remember from this conversation?
Right. So yeah, as I mentioned before, the main benefits is that freight forwarders are saving 90% of their time when it comes to procurement.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to quoting and general implementation, they are saving 25% of their costs in terms of not just procurement, but also the quoting process. And we have seen several cases of not just winning more deals, but also reducing cost by having more alternatives to quote, because sometimes they don't know that specific shipping lines suddenly launch a new service or have a new offer for a specific trade, because they just check always the same files, or the
Yeah.
same websites, right? So the fact of then having all the data easily integrated, and they don't have to go to 15 different places, makes easier to find these offers or special prices that are available maybe just for a specific time period, right? And win more deals, as I mentioned, and reduce cost on every operation, right? So that's like, can say, big scope that we are focusing.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's for sure. You know, I think the disconnection of the data, and it is such a huge landscape that as a human being, you cannot really take care of everything. So any tool that is making your life easier is definitely valuable. Sebastian, I'm also an entrepreneur building a couple of tools in my life, and I'm really curious. You know, what kind of the biggest challenges you faced on your journey, and how did you overcome them?
Yeah, it's hard question. I think there are a lot of challenges every day at the end.
Yes, I can imagine.
Yeah, but I think that the main challenge is how you handle all the emotions, because at the end, as an entrepreneur and you are leading a startup or an organization, you have to do things that you don't have experience and maybe that you don't choose to do, but it's the things that needs to be done in order for the company to grow, right? So if you don't embrace the fact that maybe you don't know how to do that, and you don't embrace to fail fast, it's impossible to go through those challenges. And then, yeah, maybe if I have to choose one, I started this company with a great guy, Juanfra, great person. Like in fact, I've been living with him in Gdansk, doing
Yeah.
the project there.
Hmm.
And yeah, unfortunately, he passed in 2000, end of 2019. He was one of the co-founders. So yeah, at the end. He was a person that wanted to to create, to help people, right? And as you can imagine, this moment was a tipping point for us. We, of course,
Mm.
are I feel like I'm carrying still like the legacy, and he's willing to build the company too. But yeah, these challenge and several ones at the end, I feel like we need to be flexible and resilient, like in different situations that you have as a startup founder,
Yeah.
and take the most for every adversity that you have to go through, and yeah, and again, embrace and keep moving forward, and keep growing and learning, right? So I think that's, if I have to choose one thing that took me here, and I believe that will continue making this company grow, is this resilience and this willingness to fail and learn and keep improving every day. I think that's
Yeah.
where.
And did you get away much or evolve from the initial concept that you had at the very beginning and where you are today? Or is it pretty
Yeah,
much
yeah,
the
a
same
lot,
thing?
a lot. Like I have to say the truth. Like I'm a super transparent person, and when we started, we had always this vision of building a huge uh, model that is almost fully automated to map data. But at the beginning, we had no
Hmm.
data. We had zero
Yeah.
data, right? We were starting, and we didn't have millions of data sets to teach the system how to read all
Yeah.
these surcharge variations. So I remember that the first pilots were like, the customers were uploading, and I was with my team, transforming data like 80% manual. And while we
Yeah.
were transforming the data on that MVP, we were teaching the system how to read and how to understand more data sets. So now we are at a huge level of automation, uh, and also, like, the industry trains a lot. We are now integrated in real time with several shipping lines. We are offering more visibility to that, and
Hmm.
at the beginning we didn't have the quote management system, was just procurement, and now
Yeah.
we have a full product for profit management and then quote management. So yeah, it's huge transformation, and the transformation that we are doing now, it's even bigger. Looking forward, of course, to next year, right?
Yeah. So what was your long-term vision for the CargoFi? Where do you see your company in, I don't know, next 5 or even 10 years?
Good, good. 10 is maybe hard, huh?
Even 5 probably is this.
Very fast. Because the things are changing so fast. I mean, it's amazing how technology is changing everything, huh?
Yeah.
But yeah, at the end, we want to be like the leading company to build that enables with this tech infrastructure to all the freight forwarders, shipping lines, shippers to be connected in a more automated way. We are focusing on of course on pricing, schedules. We
Mhm.
are adding bookings, right? So that's the core. We want to be the best on that. I don't have the vision of building a product for the entire supply chain. I think it's super complex and huge to build a solution for all the details
I
and
agree.
all the parties involved. So we want to be the best on these and lead the market with this infrastructure, web or API. Then we will support customers on their needs, right? But yeah, that's the core and the vision that we have.
Very interesting. Yeah, I do agree. Such a massive market that you cannot build, everything yourself. That's for sure. Well, would you have any suggestions, lessons learned from your experience that you would like to share with other, entrepreneurs that are, at the earlier stage of their ventures?
Uh,
Is there anything like that?
List of failures and learnings. But so I think one of the majors that I think I did wrong at the beginning. I was focusing too much on this startup world of just financing rounds, how much we have in revenue, how many customers
Mhm.
we have. But I'm not saying that is not important. Of course, financials has to be good.
Yeah.
But we changed the picture, and then we had that as a North Star metric. Our North was okay, how much we have in revenue, how many customers,
Hmm.
funding rounds, and at the end, the most important thing here is to add value to the customer. If you are not focusing on how much time you are saving to your customer, how much you are helping your customer, what's the value that you are adding, then the revenue is not worthy. At the end, it will decrease at some point. I can sell you now whatever this phone, and I have huge annual recurring revenue. But then if the phone doesn't work, you won't trust me anymore, and you won't buy nothing again from me, right? But
Yeah.
if I give you a product that really solves you a problem, right? I give you a product that really adds value to you. You will trust me. You will know that I'm a reference in this type of product or service, and then you will trust me for several years, right? And I think again, changing this picture and aligning the organization to have the North Star metric of where we are adding value to the customer has a big change that I did wrong. And then, yeah, as I mentioned, like embrace. I think if I have to go back, I will embrace the failures faster than what I did, because you
Mm.
learn with that. Um, and yeah, maybe it's all about people, right? I mean, to grow at the beginning, you can test yourself, but then you need to find the best talent. We need to focus on helping the people to grow, to be happy at the organization, to give them opportunities. At the beginning, I didn't focus that much on that. I did not understand that part. But it's the key, right? I mean, you need to hire people that are better than you and
Yeah.
that can fit with your values, with your organization, right? I mean, and help them to grow, help them to shine, and I think that's the core, and at least my role now, and I believe it's really important for founders at early stage growing to do that and to focus on that topic, right?
Great points. Yeah. Uh, Definitely. And thanks for sharing this. So we had a Sebastian Cazajus with CargoFive. So if anybody is looking for a solution to make your quotations easier, save 90% of time on actually handling the quotations and 25% of the implementation of the whole tariffs, I think it's the best way to reach you, Sebastian. Any details how to do that?
Yeah. They can go directly to our website, reach out me via LinkedIn or email at sebastian@cargofi.com. And yeah, we'll be happy to support any freight forwarder or any person interested in the tech logistic industry. happy to chat about that.
Perfect. Thank you, Sebastian.
Thank you, Seb. It was a pleasure.